Alright, good morning everybody. This is Daxel from the Brotherhood of Malice. This will be one of our first videos on our YouTube channel, and we're going to go over the announcement today of how operations and flashpoints in the Fallen Empire are going to work. George Smith, the senior designer in charge of operations and flashpoints, put a post on the community news on the SWTOR forums today, and we're going to kind of briefly go over it and talk about our opinions and what we think this means for the future of the game. So I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I'll read parts of it so that you have an idea of what's happening in each phase. So first part I'll read just for context. It says, "My name is George Smith. I'm the senior designer in charge of operations and flashpoints, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about what Knights of the Fallen Empire has in store for you. First, a little bit of the backstory about the current state of group content in Star Wars The Old Republic. As you level your character, you have the opportunity to play through quite a few flashpoints for gear and a break from your story. As you continue to play and progress in the game and pass the level range of those flashpoints, you no longer play them as they become obsolete. Similarly, due to the nature of the gear progression or an increased level cap, as we release new operations, we continue to make older operations obsolete." Basically what this means is that they understand that nobody plays Karaga's Palace, Eternity Vault, and Explosive Conflict anymore. Very few people still do Terror from Beyond. All four of those actually are really they're driven by mechanics more than anything else. The mechanic on the Soa fight, for Karaga's Palace, the mechanic fighting Karaga himself. For Terror from Beyond, the mechanic on Operator 9, the mechanics on Kephis, and the mechanics on the Terror from Beyond. And Explosive Conflict, the tank fight and the puzzle with the minefield, and then ultimately the Kephis fight. Now I've been around since launch, and I remember, at level cap, trying to, grind through getting those operations figured out, and they were really pretty difficult, because if you messed up on the mechanics, you paid the price for it. Now with the level cap increase, people will roll in there and they roll through the tank fight, make tons of mistakes. They don't tank swap, they don't do anything in Explosive Conflict, and the result is they don't pay the consequence for it. So scaling these operations, I actually think is going to be a good thing. For those of us that like to play operations, it's going to force people to learn how to do the mechanics again. And when they're forced to learn how to do the mechanics again, inevitably they're going to learn how to do the operations a little bit better. All right, so let's go into the next part. So he talks about flashpoints. He said he's made quite a few changes to flashpoints, give you more options on what to play, how to play them, and all the flashpoints that are important to the core story have had a solo mode added. We kind of knew that was coming. Basically, they did it with the tactical flashpoints. They gave you the droid that kind of heals tanks and DPSs all at the same time. So you're going to have something that equivalent in flashpoints to be able to do a solo mode. They say hard mode flashpoints are getting love as well. All hard mode flashpoints, including the Red Reaper, for the first time will be available starting at level 50 up to 65. There will be a small bolster to allow different level ranges to play together, but we will need to bring a balanced group with a tank and healer, just as with hard mode flashpoints currently. Just like the new tactical flashpoints, each player can get their own individual loot suited for their class from entirely new sets of gear. This will provide the perfect jumping off point for getting you ready to tackle operations. So with the increased level cap and with the scaling of operations, they say that, hard mode flashpoints again are viable to get you geared for those operations. And this is the way the game used to be. What they would do is you would run through flashpoints. They would give you gears that would let you basically allow you to complete the story mode version of operations, and then getting that gear. It would be individual gear drops, so you would do one run to get gloves, and gloves would always drop at the end from the end boss in that run. I don't know that they're going to do it that way, but I think it sounds like they may be going back to that, that policy in regards to flashpoints. So they're going to make flashpoints a little bit more relevant in the game. So far, nothing too bad. Now let's start to talk about operations. Operations are a large change in that every single operation in SWTOR will be raised to level 65. Every operation will drop a new tier of Elder Game gear, as well as a new vanity rewards such as mounts, vehicles, decorations for your stronghold. Story mode operations will be playable from level 50 to level 65 and will grant bolster to ensure everyone in the group is prepared. SOA will once again be the ancient warlord who threatens to take over the galaxy with the challenge to match. Alright, so again, the mechanic on SOA, you can't just stand where you want to stand. You can't do what you want to do in these operations anymore, because you're going to be forced, in the guard fight, for example, in Eternity Vault, you're going to be forced to move off of those islands. You're going to be forced to take those ads down quickly. It's going to be difficult again. So, I'm all for this so far. We're also making several quality of life improvements to operations in the group finder to make it better, more engaging experience. Each day, a new story operations will be available in group finder and will drop relevant gear to your character. Nightmare mode will also be available for all the operations that had it previously and will reward the same as the highlighted hard mode, as well as all the unique mounts and titles available currently. Alright, here we go. Nightmare mode will also be available for all the operations that had it previously. So they're not going to add Nightmare mode to Temple of Sacrifice and Ravagers. They should say every operation that already had a Nightmare mode will continue to have a Nightmare mode. And will reward the same highlighted hard mode as all of the unique mounts and titles available currently. For hard mode operations, one operation per week will be highlighted to give you even greater rewards. Ultimately, the goal is that you will have a reason to visit all of the operations and will feel rewarded to do so. I guess they're saying that, they're one hard mode operation per week will give you better rewards. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know if it's they're going to throw one hard mode operation into the group finder, because they're going to have a different operation for group finder every day, or if they're just going to increase the drop rate or the item levels that drop in that one operation each week. Right, so they also say, we know that many players love our operations and look forward to the introduction of new challenges. However, with Knights of the Fallen Empire, there will not be any new operations. All right, so this is going to be the point of contention for the majority of in-game ops players. They're not going to add another operation right away. A lot of complaints on the internet. Mostly every person that is out there reviewing and posting things about the content in game, is up in arms about the fact that there's not going to be any new operations and there's not going to be any new PvP maps. My opinion has always been on this. I understand the frustration. Everybody wants new content each time that they go. Each time they update the game. And I think that they would love to be able to do that every time that they update the game, but it's just not viable. Their ability for them to create a new PvP map every time there's a major update, a new operation every time there's a major update, and add story content every time there's a major update. I don't know that they have enough people to make that happen. Um, so this is the attitude that I'm kind of taking to it. I don't enjoy the fact that there's not going to be any new operations, because that's the part of the game that I like a lot. I like going through there, figuring that stuff out, getting your butt kicked a couple times, and then coming back and trying a new strat. And the first time it works, it's actually a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of people out there that want to be able to do that each time there's an update, but um, I kind of take it with a grain of salt. Uh, for me, I'm just gonna let them do what they want to do with this update. Bring in the story a lot more, which is good because the story's been neglected for a long time. I mean, they add little snippets of, cutscenes and stuff like that each time they give us a new area, but they haven't really increased the overall story of the game a lot. Um, so I think that once that story is established and we get through those first 9 chapters, maybe 10, um, we'll start to get some new flashpoints, new operations as the new chapters start to release, um, and that new storyline will drive new content. So hopefully that's the case. If it's not the case, I know a lot of people are going to be leaving. A lot of people will leave strictly because there's no new operation right now as they release it. So, I mean, that's my opinion on it. A lot of people think differently. A lot of people were, I've heard a lot of reviewers say that, they're out of here if there's no new operation. They just basically stated there won't be a new operation, in October when this releases. So we'll see what the reaction is. I'm sure a lot of other people are doing the same thing I'm doing, and kind of going through this post and putting their response out there. So we'll see how it goes. So to continue on, they say, we felt it was important to first address some of the issues with our elder game before moving on to new content. These changes will allow us to be more flexible with how we release new content, and the content no longer needs to be tied to a new gear level or level cap increase. Even without new operations, though, you will find a whole lot of content to play at the level cap. Let's go over everything that we'll be able to play in Knights of the Fallen Empire. And then they just list all of the solo mode flashpoints that you're going to be able to play. Those are flashpoints that are repeatable and made to be played solo or with a companion. Your character will be adjusted down to the appropriate level so that you experience the flashpoint at the level and difficulty that it is intended. Then they go tactical flashpoint. These are 4-player flashpoints that are available levels 10 to 65. Your character will be bolstered so that your friends of any level can play along with you together. And it's just a list of all of the regular flashpoints that are out right now. And then hard mode flashpoints. Everything from Black Talon all the way through the Battle of Rishi will have a level 65 flashpoint, and they're designed to present more of a challenge to players. They provide a small bolster, but still require a full 4-player group, including a tank and a healer. So they're going back to the fact that you need to have balanced groups to get through these content in flashpoints, just like you need a balanced group in an operation. And then you go into operations. These are 18 and 16 player operations that are available level 65 in both story and hard mode. A different story mode operation will be available in the group finder each day. And it's Eternity Vault, Karag's Palace, Explosive Conflict, Terror from Beyond, Scum of Villainy, Golden Fury, which is on Makeb, Dread Fortress, Dread Palace, Ravagers, and Temple of Sacrifice. And then their final thoughts are, as you can see, while leveling your character and when your character reaches level 65, there's a whole galaxy out there available for you. So whether you want to take the journey alone or with 15 of your closest friends, I can't wait for you to get your hands on Knights of the Fallen Empire. So it seems to me like they're quite excited about what they're doing. I know that we don't have a lot of details in reference to how the game is going to be played. Whether it's going to turn into a Mass Effect style, RPG, or what's going to happen with it. I do, however, think that a lot of the naysayers out there are going to see this post and they're just. I think you're going to see a mass exodus. A lot of people are going to quit, and I hope that those players, especially a lot of the good ones that are around, um, don't do what Zorg did and just decide to leave the game. I hope they stick around. I hope they get back into the fun parts of all of this content, because this content is a lot of fun. Um, and they're making it worth your while to go back and experience a lot of that stuff that nobody does anymore. Um, how many times do people go in and play Lost Island, for example? Nobody does it anymore unless you go in there solo and you go through a couple bosses to try to get the midnight rackling drop. That's really the only thing that people do. So I think that they're going in the right direction. I think that they have the opportunity here um, to make things better in all aspects of the game. But I think that this is, for them, is the first step. Hopefully, it's not going to be a misstep like has happened in other MMOs, where uh, you know they do sort of a reboot and then they're it falls very short of what they say it's going to be. I hope they take this opportunity and make this a really good game again, and make every piece of what they said in this post viable to gameplay again. If they do that, I think the majority of people will stick around. If they drop the ball and don't do it, I think they're going to be out there. A lot of people are going to leave. So we'll see. We'll see what other posts come out as we get closer to October, and we'll see how how things transpire. But I'll be very interested to see a lot of the replies about this. A lot of people's replies about this post that came out today. So please like this video. If you're interested in playing the game, jump on the Harbinger server. /who Brotherhood of Malice. Everyone is welcome to come and join. We're a very small guild right now, but we are building, and our goal is to become not a top tier guild, but we want to be top 10 in conquest. We want to be relevant in the game. Looking to build PvP teams, operations team, progression ops teams, things like that. So anybody's more than welcome to come and join. You can join us through the post on the forums on the SWTOR website. Also, I hope that a lot of people don't take this post the wrong way and end up leaving the game. I think that would be jumping the gun a bit. Give these devs the opportunity to do what they're trying to do, and if they fail, I'll be out the door with everybody else. But I think they have an opportunity to make it good. So let's see how they do. Again, like this video, reply, and let us know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. This being our first video, it's kind of rough, but we'll get better as we do more of them, and hopefully I'll see you guys in game.